Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. Now this is regarding David Luiz now from Chelsea, because reportedly now Conte has come out and he has suggested a few things out, and Conte has basically said he has cooled the speculation of David Luiz agreeing a move to Real Madrid, because the Spanish publication have actually reported in the press basically that reportedly Real Madrid are emerging as front runners in the race ahead of us to go on and sign David Luiz in the January transfer window as well, because David Luiz basically, it did confirm a couple of weeks ago in the press that David Luiz had a fallout and a bust up, with Conte in the current process. But reportedly now, it did say, the player David Luiz was actually considering joining Manchester United, after a fallout with Conte, and, he may be keen on reuniting, with Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho, used to work with David Luiz, when Jose Mourinho, was at Chelsea as well. David Luiz, who does have a contract with Chelsea, as we all know, until 2019 as well, in the current process. But Real Madrid and Zidane are still in search of a defender as well, because Real Madrid, are interested in quite a few goalkeepers, as we all know. They still want a few outfield players as well, because, Real Madrid have got, a lot of money. They're a rich club, and Real Madrid, and there's players in their team that are aging up, Ronaldo, Benzema, even Bale as well, and he's a favourite to be sacrificed. The next player from Real Madrid to leave, if he does actually leave, Gareth Bale as well. But they also been interested in quite a few young age players as well of Real have been interested in quite a few young players of Real Madrid as well. But the Spanish publication are reporting that Real Madrid, could actually land David Luiz, in the January window, because this is, Chelsea, repurchased him back from Paris Saint-Germain, for £34 million, in the 2016 transfer window as well. David Luiz. David Luiz can play as a defensive mid. He can also play as a centre back as well. But his versatility is very, very good. He's good. His passing ability is very, very good. His dribbling is very, very good. He's made over a century appearances now for Chelsea Football Club's David Luiz. So he says basically his future is in doubt. Especially with Conte. At Chelsea. Conte's got a 3-year deal. He won the Premier League in his first season. He was a regular last season, to be fair, was David Luiz. He was regular, in Chelsea's squad, especially was David Luiz. But he won the Premier League in his first season last season, Conte. There's some, press reports saying, 3 or 4 weeks ago that Conte could go back to Italy. And, Conte, there was some people saying, Chelsea were convinced he wasn't going to see out his current deal, Conte as well. But reportedly, David Luiz, as I said, he made his international debut in 2010. He was part of the Brazil squad who won the 2013 Confederations Cup as well, was current player, and also got to the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup, in 2014 as well, with David Luiz. But obviously, we know David Luiz has also had experience of being in Portugal with Benfica, and then basically joined Chelsea. Went to Chelsea 3 years until 2014, won the Champions League, FA Cup, and Europa League. And then basically, then Paris Saint-Germain had paid a record fee for him, a highest paid fee for our defender. At that moment in time, PSG paid £50 million for him. So he had a couple of years' experience, of being in France. He won, I think he won quite a few honours, as well with Paris Saint-Germain. And then obviously Chelsea had repurchased him back for £34 million. But if Chelsea are willing to sell him, they may recommend they want around the £34 million. They repurchased him back from Paris Saint-Germain back in 2015. They recommend that they want the £34 million, that they're repurchasing back for in 2016 as well. In the current process, he's come out from the media, so potentially Real Madrid could sign David Luiz, according to the press as well. But as I said, obviously, Chelsea, have also got Willian there. He's another player, he says, if Conte is to stay, he could also leave Chelsea Football Club as well, because Willian can play as an attacking mid. Willian can also play as a winger as well, Willian for Chelsea. And he's also another player, that Jose Mourinho has worked with as well. So he has been potentially linked with a move to Manchester United as Willian as well, because Willian made his international debut in 2011. Willian's skillful, good at physical round defenders, very, very good at beating opponents as well. He's a Willian, and Willian basically is frustrated, especially this season under Conte, with a lack of game time. He's been currently getting Willian as well. But potentially he's another player that's being linked with a move to Old Trafford is Willian as well, and he did say he wants to win more trophies with Chelsea. You know, if he's possibly stay, but I think it's been explained basically, you know, about Conte if he's to stay, that Willian, you know, wants to leave Chelsea because Willian's an ex-Shakhtar Donetsk player. He had 6 fantastic years there. You know, he won 5 Ukraine Premier League titles, Ukraine Cup, Ukraine Super Cup as well, and the UEFA Cup, Willian as well. But he hasn't played much this season with Chelsea, has Willian. So Chelsea could potentially see Luiz go in January and maybe even Willian go as well, because basically we know with Chelsea, because they're still basically, you know, looking to reinvest into their squad. Conte spent about just over £100 million, you know, back in the August window as well. You know, he got Bakayoko in there, he paid 70 million for Lukaku, and you know, he got Rudiger at the back, and you know, Chelsea did miss out on quite a few, you know, targets back in August. You know, Conte was frustrated with their lack of investment, you know, in the August window. You know, they went for the likes of Llorente, didn't get him. Lukaku missed out on him. You know, they inquired about Jamie Vardy, didn't get him. Who else? You know, Alexandro. Chelsea could potentially still revive the interest in Alexandro, because obviously Chelsea were very, very interested in him, but Juventus were reluctant and were resisted to offload Sandro, basically considering that Juventus have lost some key players, you know, in the last couple of years, as I said, with Vidal and Pogba and Bonucci and, you know, Dani Alves. You know, Juventus were not willing to offload the player, and Chelsea were preparing, you know, to pay up to £62 million for Alex Sandro as well. You know, the ex-Porto player did very, very well with Porto. You know, the ex-Las Santos player as well, Alex Sandro as well, but he is a very, very good fullback, you know, very, very good, strong, quick, can play anywhere on the left-hand side, kind of like Sandro as well. But Chelsea could still potentially, you know, revive the interest there in him as well. Chelsea, you know, may revive the interest in Barkley in January. They've also been interested in Benteke, as it's said in the press as well. But Conte does want to see more players going at Chelsea Football Club, and he has basically suggested out as Conte, you know, that he wants a midfielder. Chelsea want to add a midfielder into their ranks, and potentially, you know, they want someone up front as well to partner up with Alvaro Morata, and this is basically what Chelsea want. Conte wants someone to partner up front with Alvaro Morata as well. And, you know, the latest news is Aubameyang. Chelsea could potentially, you know, get Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang from Borussia Dortmund, because I think, you know, Borussia Dortmund, you know, are beginning to lose patience with him. He has done very, very well this season, Aubameyang. This is 5th season now in the process, you know, with Borussia Dortmund is Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang's but we know also Liverpool have been linked to him as well. You know, Klopp, you know, maybe keen on reuniting you know, with Aubameyang, you know, because Klopp used to work with Aubameyang, you know, obviously, you know, when Klopp was with Borussia Dortmund, and obviously, you know, before he went to Liverpool Football Club as well. But Aubameyang, Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang, it did say Borussia Dortmund are willing maybe to cash in on the player in January, and I think Borussia Dortmund are recommending that they want around about 54 million pound for Aubameyang. It says Liverpool could potentially make a move for him, depending, you know, what happens with Daniel Sturridge as well, you know, in the current process. But Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang, this is 5th season in the process. You know, Borussia Dortmund is strong, he's quick, he's good in the air, he's a very, very clinical finisher. He's a Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang as well, you know, in the current process. But Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang, look at this record, you know, he's got fantastic acceleration, his speed's very, very good. He's Aubameyang's, look what he did 30 metres in 13.7 seconds, you know. Also made his international debut in 2009 and was before voted the 8th best player in the world. So he is a good, prolific striker, you know, is Patrick, you know, Emerick Aubameyang as well. And he's scored, how many goals this season? He's scored about 11, 12 goals this season in Bundesliga so far for Borussia Dortmund. So he is a very, very good player. You know, he began his career with Inter Milan. You know, he risen up the ranks of Inter Milan very, very well. And then after Inter Milan, you know, he went to 4 French clubs on loan. And then in 2011 joined Saint-Étienne, whatever they call them, permanently. And then he joined Borussia Dortmund in 2013 as well. But Liverpool have also been interested in Aubameyang. Borussia Dortmund, the German press have actually reported, you know, Borussia Dortmund are willing to offload him, because Liverpool are still looking to, you know, I think Liverpool still need a finisher. This Liverpool in defensive terms still need a defender as well the process. But the big breaking news is about potentially, David Luiz. As I said, reportedly, the press are reporting, the Spanish Dan Ball on the Spanish publication reported that Real Madrid are merged front runners to go on and get David Luiz in January after, it confirmed a couple of weeks ago David Luiz had a fallout with Conte, but he's still under contract with Chelsea until 2019 as well. Is David Luiz, but it come out in the press saying Manchester United have also been, being interested in David Luiz as well. But we know with Real Madrid, they have had quite a few players on their agenda. The big club, they have struggled this season of Real Madrid. They haven't been the best this season. The 13 times champions, league winners as well. Real Madrid. But as I did confirm to you earlier, they have got quite a few goalkeepers on their radar at Real Madrid. David De Gea, the Atletico Bilbao goalkeeper, but can't pronounce his name right, and Courtois as well, and potentially being on Real Madrid's radar as well. But David De Gea has given us some fantastic positive news, guys, as I said earlier on, because the press. What press now? He actually, what is it now? I can't pronounce it out, but reportedly, today, well, it's been in quite a few minutes, that reportedly David De Gea had told the Spanish press and also told George Mendes, who was Mourinho's agent and David De Gea's agent, and he has strong connection with Man United. He said, I'm a Manchester United goalkeeper, and I'm a Spanish goalkeeper. What else can you ask for? This is what David De Gea had said, and he's basically confirmed he does want to stay at Manchester United, does David De Gea. He's willing to stay at Manchester United, and he's dismissed the interest of Real Madrid. So that looks very, very positive indeed. And even if Manchester United were willing to sell De Gea off, we'd probably be asking for 3 times more than the 18 million pound we paid for him in 2011, from Atletico Bilbao as well. But it is a positive. David De Gea is still under contract with Manchester United until 2019, as we all know. Since he's been at Old Trafford, he's been in the Fergie era, David Moyes era, and now David Moyes era, Van Gaal era, and Fergie, and now the Jose Mourinho era as well. And he's made over 2 century appearances for Manchester United as David De Gea as well, as we all know. But he's won the Premier League with us a couple of times, Europa League, League Cup, FA Cup with us as well as David De Gea. But Real Madrid have had that long-standing interest, since 2015, due to that faulty fax machine. Real Madrid, nearly got a deal off line, but due to the faulty fax machine, a deal in the process never materialised, and David De Gea stayed at Manchester United, which was very, very good indeed. But we know he risen up the ranks of Atletico Madrid, and he did well with Atletico Madrid. He made his professional debut in 2009, won the Europa League with them, won the Super Cup with them. So he's had that experience of, being in Spain before as David De Gea as well. He's got a record of clean sheets, potentially the best goalkeeper in the world as well. So it looks like positively he's staying at Manchester United is David De Gea. But also, as you, what else did I update you on? And basically the board have basically said, basically now Mourinho's got plans, basically he spent 300 million in 3 transfer windows. But basically, as we all know, the board have said, we have to sell, basically, before we can buy in the current process as well. Wait there, guys, a minute. Right, so I'll carry on now like that. Right, so as I was saying, yeah, so basically, looking like David De Gea is going to stay Manchester United, which is very, very good news indeed. But as I also, updated you, as I said, we have to sell before we can buy. As I said, Jose Mourinho did say that the other day in the press he's identifying 4 left-footed targets into the team. I still think, as I keep saying, Manchester United do need to address that left-hand side a bit more. I still think Manchester United, need a creative winger in that team. I think the four favourable left-footed players are Bale, Danny Rose, Griezmann, and Mesut Ozil, as I do keep saying. And Jose Mourinho's actually said, he's said to the scouts he wants Manchester United, to sign a magician, and Jose Mourinho, basically has explained this, in the current process as well. But saying about what would I say about Philip Mesut Ozil, as I said, it come out in the press the other day, basically that reportedly the Spanish press had reported that Barcelona had agreed. Ozil had agreed a contract with Barcelona, and it says Ozil had agreed to join Barcelona. We know Ozil's agent, had been in discussions with Barcelona as well, as we're all aware of. And Wenger did say that regarding Ozil and Sanchez, that Ozil and Sanchez will not be sold in the window. Arsene Wenger did say that Ozil has not agreed to join Barcelona, but Barcelona have got quite a few alternatives. Philippe Coutinho is their main priority target, as we all know. Don't get me wrong, as we all know, but Barcelona are weighing up other options in case they fail, with the pursuit of Philippe Coutinho as well, in the current process. But saying about Mesut Ozil, he has been linked to a move to Barcelona. He's obviously been heavily linked to a move to Old Trafford as Mesut Ozil, and Ian Wright says it would be an unbelievable signing for Manchester United. Would Mesut Ozil as well, but saying in the matter of the situation that he's going to be either Barcelona and Manchester United, but Messi has basically said, regarding Ozil, he wants Coutinho, he prefer Coutinho over Mesut Ozil, but Ozil did admit he is keen on staying in the Premier League, is Mesut Ozil, but Jose Mourinho's keen on reuniting with the player, because they were fantastic together at Real Madrid. In the process, Arsenal are nowhere near in the process of securing Mesut Ozil a new deal, as we all know, so the contract talks have currently stalled. He also said Ozil was demanding a higher wage increase, he was demanding over £300,000. So too was Ozil's representative, was demanding for Ozil to get over £300,000 worth of wages that he's been demanding for, and he was demanding this if he was from Barcelona, Ozil, if he was to go to Barcelona as well, but he's got a record of assists, since he's been in the Premier League, can create chances, can provide assists, as I said. Very, very good player. Not so good against the big teams, Mesut Ozil, but let's be honest, he had 5 fantastic years in Germany as well. He risen up the ranks to Schalke, and Werder Bremen. And since he's been at Arsenal, this is his 5th season now in the process with Arsenal. He's Mesut Ozil's made over century appearances, and I think he'd be fantastic for Manchester United because Jose Mourinho says he's a very, very good number 10, the World Cup winner. So, and Arsenal paid £42 million for him from Real Madrid as well, but he has been linked to a move to Barcelona. Come out in the press from Germany the other day that Chelsea had entered the race also for Mesut Ozil. But yeah, I'd potentially like him at Manchester United as well. But we know, as I do keep saying, also an alternative target of Barcelona is Antoine Griezmann, because it come out in the press yesterday, regarding Antoine Griezmann, that reportedly Griezmann has reportedly asked Barcelona to trigger his 86-87 million release clause, reportedly. That come from the Spanish press. Dan Ball, the Spanish publication, had reported that Antoine Griezmann had asked Barcelona to trigger his 86-87 million release clause. We know he's been heavily linked to a move to Old Trafford. He could be favoured, to go to Barcelona in the summer, over a move to Manchester United, but I would be disappointed because he was one of our main priority targets, back in the August window. Sorry about that, was Antoine Griezmann, but we didn't get a deal over the line due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban. He did estimate 6 out of 10. He was coming to Old Trafford. He's got a lot of experience of being in Spain, Griezmann, so it would be good, to come and see Griezmann, experience the Premier League. It would be very, very good to see him come and experience the Premier League. But it did come out in the press the other week that reportedly Griezmann, had agreed a deal in principle to join Barcelona. It did actually say he had agreed personal terms with Barcelona as well as Antoine Griezmann. But Barcelona have got a lot of alternatives, as I said, Coutinho is, in my opinion, still their main target. But saying about Griezmann, he's still in the contract to 2020. 2021 or 2022 with Atletico Madrid, as we all know, and very good for France. Very good in the Euro 2016 as well. Was voted the best player, and also has a fantastic friendship, with Paul Pogba, because they both played together for France. The Pogba and Antoine Griezmann, as I said, he made his international debut in 2014. He got France to the quarterfinals in 2014 as well. That was his international senior debut, Antoine Griezmann as well. But good leading of eyes, versatility, very good, skillful, very good in the air, indeed. Antoine Griezmann, and he scored. He hasn't been best form this season for Atletico Madrid. He's scored 6 goals so far this season, and Atletico Madrid paid £30 million for him from Real Sociedad. Right, risen up the ranks fantastically well. Antoine Griezmann, he won the title there. Scored 52 goals and just over 2 century appearances during his 5 seasons there, and he was fantastic. He's fantastic. With Real Sociedad as well was Antoine Griezmann. But as I said, he's still under contract 2021. And 2022 as well is Griezmann, but what was I going to say now? But potentially, we still got number 7 vacant. As I said, commercial point of view, I want to keep it vacant. And I said, Griezmann would fill full number 7, fantastically well in my opinion. But we will see what happens as well. But as I keep saying, Barcelona's main priority target is Philippe Coutinho. As I said, it's come out in the press today that since the transfer window shut, that Barcelona and Liverpool have been discussions since the transfer window shut, and Liverpool have named their price tag on the player, and reportedly Liverpool demanding, if they are to sell him in January, that they're on around about £127 million Coutinho. Maybe Barcelona may not be prepared to pay this, because maybe Barcelona may want to get him cheaper than what Liverpool are demanding. But we will see what happens as well. But Barcelona and Liverpool have still been in negotiations. Don't get me wrong, and this is coming from the Spanish press, that Liverpool have named that they want around about 127 million. Coutinho has become one of the most creative, agile midfielders. Especially since he's come to the Premier League. He's been absolutely fantastic as Philippe Coutinho. But as I said, his experience of being in Italy, also experience being with Espanyol as well. Philippe Coutinho, as I said, he's made over a century appearances now for Liverpool, as I said, during his time with Liverpool in the Premier League. He's still under contract with Liverpool until 2022, don't forget here, is Coutinho as well, as we all currently know as well. But Liverpool paid £8.5 million for him, from Inter Milan. This is his 5th season, and of course hasn't been his best this season, Coutinho, due to injury and all that. But obviously Barcelona are seeing him as a long-term replacement for Iniesta, and if he goes to Barcelona, playing him on better players, and he'll win silver. And with Liverpool at the moment, Coutinho is not currently going to be doing this, and he can play as attacking mid. Coutinho, he can play as a left winger as well. But potentially Luis Suarez wants Coutinho there at Barca. Messi wants Coutinho Barcelona as well. But as I said, Barcelona have got quite a few players on their agenda as well. So basically, as I'm saying, Jose Mourinho did identify 4 left-footed players the other day in the press. Danny Rose, Gareth Bale. That will address the left-hand side very well. But also Gareth Bale, if he was to come to United, if it was ever to happen, it would concern me a little bit, due to the record of injuries, that Gareth Bale has got. Griezmann I'd love, and I would love Mesut Ozil at Manchester United, but he's a player that coming to an end of his deal. He actually has been advised, to run out his contract to then secure a move to Manchester United on a free transfer. But basically, Arsene Wenger said Ozil and Sanchez will not be sold in January. But why wouldn't Arsenal rather cash in for the players, rather than let him go on a free in the summer? Doesn't really make any sense to me at all. But Jose Mourinho basically has said, he said to the scouts he wants a magician. He wants to sign a magician. Does Jose Mourinho said this to the scouts as well, because he's still improved. It's needed in the Man United squad. Just to confirm, going into the Arsenal game as well, thank God Jose Mourinho's not going defensively. He's going all out attack, which you need to do in these big games when we go to the Emirates. We know it's confirmed. I think Bailey's still out. Phil Jones is still out for the Arsenal game, which is disappointing, because them two at the centre-back partnership, complemented each other fantastically well at the start, early on in the season. Mike Carrick's been suffering a heart problem as well, hasn't he, as we all heard about. Nemanja Matic is confirmed. He is travelling, over the rest of the squad to London for the game tomorrow. But we don't know how severe his injury is, because he come off during the Watford game with a muscular problem. But we're not sure how severe his injury is. But Jose Mourinho is not sure if Matic is going to be actually featuring and playing in the game tomorrow, but it will be a big miss. Fellaini, yes, he's also out as well, who's played well this season for Manchester United. You know, he's obviously been injured as well this season, man, Fellaini. But as I said, you know, the main part of this video, you know, is about David Luiz. As I said, reportedly, he could end up going to Real Madrid in January, reportedly. And he did confirm he had a fallout with Conte. You know, Man United have been reportedly interested. Jose Mourinho, you know, keen on a reunion with David Luiz. As I said, because Man United have done business with Chelsea in the past. You know, we got Juan Mata, you know, during the David Moyes era. We know we got Matic, you know, in the summer as well, so it could potentially happen. But the Spanish publication have reported that David Luiz allegedly, reportedly has potentially agreed a move to Real Madrid in the January transfer window as well. But no, David Luiz under